1, 2, 1, 2. Kill the zombies by shooting them in the head. They can't eat you if you make them dead. Shoot the zombies, shoot the zombies, shoot the zombies, hey!
Hey guys, me again. I personally blame the success of my Gears of War tips video on the fact that I got it out before anyone else got theirs out. But I hope that it was because it was a genuinely good video. Because I'm a bit late to the party for Left 4 Dead tips. But here we go anyway. First I want to share the 3 basic rules that should always be followed. The first rule is stick together. This is probably the most obvious rule. Split up and it will be easy for the infected to pick you off one by one. While sticking together, you need to remember that the man on point needs to be crouching so the guy behind him can fire over him. The second rule is move fast. The director doesn't spawn boss infected at certain locations along the level. He spawns them at certain times as well. If you stay in one spot, don't expect the zombies to stop coming. Keep moving. There are instances where you'll need to stop and camp somewhere, like in the finale of a chapter, but most other times you'll need to remember that your objective is not to kill zombies, it's to get to the next safe house. When you stop to heal or gather supplies, do it as fast as you can. The third rule is most important. Communicate. If you don't have a headset, stop playing the game, stop playing this video, and go out and buy one. Text chat just doesn't cut it here. Even though the different types of zombies make very distinct sounds, call them out. Just because you heard a dry heave from a boomer doesn't mean everyone else did. So now that we've got our ground rules out of the way, let's move on to the different types of zombies, starting with the common infected. The common zombie is what you'll be expending most of your ammo on. There are 2 instances where you'll be running into these buggers. First, they're just wandering around. Then they don't look like they're in any numbers. You usually don't need more than a pistol to take out a room full of commons. Some rooms can look very open, and if you look at one particular spot, you won't find many zombies. But throw a pipe bomb and it will look like you just lured off a horde. This is why anytime you see a nice open room, throw a pipe bomb. People are tempted to save these for a horde, but in reality the best way to take out a horde is with bullets or molotovs. Pipe bombs are best used to lure out any hidden zombies or buy you time to make a dash somewhere. Whenever you throw a pipe bomb, most zombies will just run right past you. So use a pipe bomb when you need to get from safety point A to B without running into any zombies. Boss zombies will not be attracted to a pipe bomb, so you'll still need to keep an eye out for them when you're using one. A Molotov is best used in 2 situations. The first is against a tank, but I'll talk about that later when I get to talking about boss zombies. The second use for it is against a horde. A horde is when you're faced with many common infected at once. Sometimes they come randomly and you will hear them coming as they make a lot of zombie noises and the music will change. Sometimes you will alert a horde if you get vomited on by a boomer or shoot a car with its light flashing. But nevertheless, if you alert a horde, you need to back yourself into a corner. This is where your Molotovs come in. Throw one at a bottleneck such as a doorway or a window that you know will be used as an entrance for zombies. This will kill a good portion of the zombies before they even get to you. If the horde gets right up close to you, you need to get your team backed up into a corner. 2 people in front crouching and meleeing, and 2 people behind and shooting. Meleeing causes the zombies to be constantly pushed off from you, minimizing the damage everyone is taking. Now we know that most of these strategies won't work against boss zombies, so I'm gonna go through all 5 types of boss infected and tell you the best way of dealing with them. First up is the most common type of boss infected, the hunter. Hunters will only end up killing you if there's no one else to push him off. You can't do anything while the hunter is clawing away at you, so you need a buddy to come and rescue you. If you see a hunter and he jumps at you, do not shoot at him. It is possible to take a hunter down in one hit, but only with a headshot, and if he's jumping right at you, that's a very hard shot to make. When the hunter jumps at you, wait till he's a few feet away and hit him with your gun. This will cause him to stagger backwards for a few seconds. Use this time to finish him off. If he doesn't die within a few seconds, hit him again so he keeps staggering back. If you see a buddy getting eaten by a hunter, only shoot him off if you're not using the shotgun. Shoot a hunter off a teammate with a shotgun and you'll end up damaging your teammate too. So if you have a shotgun and you're close enough, hit the hunter off with a melee and then gun him down. If you're not close enough, pull out your sidearm and start unloading. However, if your team is spaced out in such a way that nobody is close enough to hit a hunter off, then something is wrong with your tactics. Hunters can be identified by their growling and the screams they let out every time they leap. Next up is the boomer. He'll vomit on you and attract a horde to your location. If you suddenly turn a corner and you see a boomer right in your face, your first instinct might be to shoot. This is probably the stupidest thing you could do, as when the boomer is shot, he'll explode, and if he explodes near you, you'll have to contend with another horde. When you melee a boomer, he'll stagger back farther than any other type of zombie. So this is so that you can melee him back up and then shoot him. If you use this effectively, then it should put enough distance between you and the boomer to shoot him, and not get fat zombie dude all over you. Boomers can be identified by a puking sound. The smoker is probably the most annoying of the zombies. He can screw everything up for you at the worst possible times. His ability is to grab a hold of you with his tongue and drag you away. When you're grabbed by the tongue, you have a few seconds to shoot him before you're helpless. So if you catch yourself moving when you're not telling yourself to move, aim where you're being dragged off to and open fire as quickly as possible. It's unlikely that you'll save yourself if you didn't already know where he was, but it's worth a shot. When you see a teammate getting dragged off, your first priority is to save him as fast as possible and then shoot at the smoker. If you're close enough to your buddy, melee him. Yeah, that's right. Hit your teammate in the face with your gun. There isn't any team damage from melees, and this will free him from the smoker's grip. If you're not close enough, then the only way to save him is to kill the smoker. Smokers can be identified by their coughing. Next up is the witch. The witch can be avoided if you're careful, but it's better if you kill her. You'll hear her first as she is crying. When you get close to her, she might stand up a bit and growl at you. If you're trying to avoid her, increase the distance between you and her as fast as you can. But if you avoid her, then you run the risk of accidentally startling her when you're dealing with something else. If you're playing on expert, as I usually do, the witch will kill you in one hit. Not just down you, but kill you. It is possible, however, to kill the witch in one shot before she becomes a problem. Walk up to her slowly and she'll start to get up. After she gets up and before she starts attacking, shoot her square in the face with either type of shotgun. This will blow her head off, killing her. If the witch is accidentally startled, she will attack only the person who startled her. If she succeeds in killing him, she'll run away. Now this is very important. If this happens, let her go. Don't go running after her, as she may decide to attack you next. The final type of boss infected is arguably the most dangerous one, the tank. Usually you will only encounter a tank every other level or so, but don't count on this as the director is anything but predictable. The tank has two attacks. He can punch you, which will send you flying, or he can throw cars or rubble at you. Don't think strafing will be able to dodge the rubble. It will hit you. The best way to avoid this attack is by finding cover, but if you find yourself in an open area, start strafing in one direction, then when the tank throws the rubble at you, reverse direction. This usually works as he throws it towards where you would be if you kept going in the same direction. The first thing you'll want to do when you see a tank is light him on fire using a gas can or a Molotov. This will keep damaging him, and if all else fails, you can run away and let the fire kill him. There are certain spots where this will not work, such as the sewer levels. If you light the tank on fire in here, be careful not to lead him into the waist-high water, as this will put the fire out. If you know the tank is coming, the more people on your team with shotguns the better. These will kill him faster than an M16 or an Uzi. Don't use the hunting rifle except at the beginning of certain stages. It's next to useless compared to the other two. The tank can be identified by his roaring and the cars flying straight at you. The final thing I want to talk about is versus mode. The same rules apply to the survivors as they do in campaign. Just remember that the boss zombies will likely be more coordinated, and the move fast rule applies double this time. When I say move fast, I mean don't stop for more than the time it takes to heal. Another thing to remember is that each zombie has 30 seconds to respawn once they're killed. So if you kill 3 or 4 at once, now is the time to move, as you have 30 free seconds to get as far as possible without running into anyone on the other team. Advice for the infected team. The most important things here are coordination and misdirection. You need to combine your skills. There are usually 2 hunters, 1 smoker, and 1 boomer spawned, so make up combos. Have a boomer vomit on one of them, and if they throw a cocktail, use the smoker to drag them through the fire. When the others try to come to the rescue, pounce on them with your hunters. Don't attack the group when they're together. Pouncing on a survivor while he's with his buddy will only buy you about half a second of damage, as you'll get hit off really soon. Instead, aim for the people who get left behind or run ahead. This will create misdirection. Have a hunter pounce on someone who's been separated. The team will turn around, leaving them vulnerable for an attack from behind. One of my favorite strategies to use is to have the boomer and the smoker work together. Have the smoker drag someone back to where they're both standing and have the boomer vomit on him. The other survivors will have trouble getting in to kill either one of you because you've surrounded yourself with a large, horde-shaped shield. That's pretty much all I've got time for. One last strategy before I go. Almost every finale area has a closet. Hide in there and use the same tactics as you did when crouching in a corner. Just remember to get out of there when the tanks come. This should help anyone having trouble with the game. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section.
Zombies, hey, they'll lamp around in blood and cover things in stains. They'll moan and groan and try to eat your flesh and brains. But if you lead them down an alley, you can snipe them pretty badly. Cause the best way to kill zombies is by shooting them in the head. Kill the zombies.